Hello and welcome to another video. Today's video will be one where we look at what the paper pumpkin is for the month of July 2020, and then I'll come back at the end of the video to show a few alternatives to the ideas originally presented. So let's go ahead, and I just took it out of the box. That's the extent of what I've done so far. Like, it's still in its wrapping. So let's take a look together. So it looks like here we've got this lovely little tag here which matches the Tasteful Textures dies. And we've got here, it's a party and all of these lovely sentiments. It comes with 9 postcards and envelopes, plus 9 tea light bags. So we can open this up and see what that looks like. But first, let's look at our stamp set. So first things first, let me get something. Here we go. I was gonna say something to put it up behind, but closer so you guys can see it better. Here we go. So we've got here, it's a party, you're invited. We've got, oh, the summer nights are all right with everything magic and bright. A when, where, and an RSVP. This kind of swooshy thing that looks like it might be for like a shooting star of some sort, or these fireworks. So same thing, a nice straight line. A firefly, it looks like this could go right on top here to add a little glow to the firefly, maybe a mini firework or one you can put within, and then what looks like a lantern here. So that's pretty cute. The stamping classic spot here is Blackberry Bliss. Let's center that up there, sorry about that. So there's Blackberry Bliss, which is a lovely color. So now let's go ahead and open this up and see what that looks like. I have not yet seen very many projects made with this that are that are alternatives to the original, but I suspect that as more people are going to get their boxes in the mail, that they will in fact start being able to create lots of beautiful things. So all of this is out. Let's grab the instructions really quickly, just so as we can see here. And then just in case you were unaware, these 3 styles are the ones they suggest, but they've started recently actually giving you alternative ideas right here. So it looks like here they've embossed it with maybe gold to make it look like sparklers. They have here, it looks like the bag was cut into and like flipped. You can make an actual card base. Here they've sponged on the bag, and they've put some treats inside, right? So there's a lot of other things that you can do just based on what the original people who made the paper pumpkin suggested. So let's take a look. So we've got here some glue dots and some mini dimensionals. We've got a little bit of what looks like probably Night of Navy twine, and we can always check right here. Here are all of the stamping coordinating colors. We've got Blackberry Bliss, Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana, Night of Navy, and White. So if you're ever unsure as to which color it is, that's what this one is. This is Night of Navy. So then we've got, ooh, look at that. Fun. These look like glitter enamel hearts. That's what that, or not hearts. Ha, I said hearts. I mean stars. Whoops. Oh, here are the little bags. Look at that. Oh, okay, so here it says, essentially it asks for you to stamp on the bag rather than it being pre-stamped. That means you could even use this as, maybe I'll use that as a mask on one of my alternative cards. How cute. Okay, and it looks like the die is only on one side as well, so that leaves some opportunity. So there are the 9 bags. Let's see what else is in here. Okay, so here are the postcards. So we've got some different sunsets here. That's lovely. Here's the other one with that Coastal Cabana, right? And it looks like that one's supposed to be for this. And then this last one here for the lanterns. Look at that. I love that like dappled sky look. Very pretty. All right, the envelopes are just plain white envelopes. Sometimes they'll add a splash of color. So here are the die cuts. Notice we've got that gold embossing. You can see it reflecting there in the light. We've got these Ferris wheel. Looks kind of like meant to go for like a Coney Island look. But notice we have 3 cards of each style. Only 3 are going to use this one. But notice you have a whole extra set right here. So I can use, my guess is probably yeah, you're only using a few of these on each card, so you're probably going to essentially need these only if you're making exactly what you see here. And this would mean that this is an entire sheet of extras, which is going to make for some fun, creative extra cards. These lovely jars, again, if you made it correctly, exactly as instructed, you would only need 3 of them. Looks like you get an extra 3. How awesome is that? And then you've got these labels, which are also, I think you can kind of see it, they're also embossed. And so that is really neat. And they're embossed in such a way where if I had to flip it, because say I made a mistake, looks like it would still be a stylish embossing, so it wouldn't be too bad there. So very nice. And then the other thing to mention is if you received this particular paper pumpkin and you wish to purchase the alternative kind of Kickstarter, if you will, this add-on, which includes card bases and a new set of envelopes. It's $10 and it gets 24 card bases with these kinds of different skies here. I've got them to show you next, and also envelopes that go with it. So I bought these. So here's one of them. You've got this style. Let me get you just one of each here. You've got this style. And then you have this style. So they are a little bit different from the original, which is nice. And then you've got the envelopes that look like this. So very cute, very versatile. In my alternatives video here at the end of this one, I'll probably use some of these materials as well, but I'll definitely try to have some examples where that is not necessary. So I'll be right back. And welcome back. So here are the ideas I've come up with the July 2020 paper pumpkin kit. These are some alternatives I came up with. Some don't stray too much from the original designs. Some are a little bit different. I've created a couple things that are not even cards. And I did use, though, in full disclosure, I did use for these two, I did use one of the card bases that came with the add-on for this particular month's kit. So there is that to factor in here. I used one of these here and cut it down, and I'll show you how I did that here in a second. So for this one, I thought originally I was trying to see if I could make this be a 3-dimensional piece, and then that way I could make this into a shaker card. However, because all of this is vellum, if I put the dimensional tape pieces here, you would have definitely seen them through, and I didn't think I was going to do a really good job doing that. So I did instead, I used the glue dots, and I glue dotted these little stars and these little fireflies or lightning bugs, depending on which part of the country you're in, or the world really. I put them and I glued them down here. You might not be able to see them, so like maybe here's one. You can see using glue dots means that these little guys are pretty easy to hide, and so even though I'm using vellum, you really can't tell that I adhered it with those glue dots, and it just looks really pretty flush and nice. I did pop up this sentiment. I chopped off the extra because I didn't want it to go over too much, and I thought that was kind of nice. If I had this particular kit didn't have a ton of the ribbon, or not the ribbon, the twine, because it didn't really what's the word? It wasn't used on all of the cards, and so they didn't really give you too much. And so maybe I could always add a little bow. Originally I thought I would actually wrap it around and then add a bow to it. I might still do that. It would just be a little tougher now that I've glued everything down. So there is that to factor in here. For the other, like, sort of, it's called like a postcard really. And so here, this one's the one that didn't stray too much from the original. So here's that one. So this is what it would have looked like had I done the original version. I did change the piece and I added these little fireworks in the background. I thought that with this, I think it's supposed to be some shade of either Misty Moonlight / Blackberry Bliss. I thought that it would look really nice, and since this is clearly some kind of a theme park or a carnival or something, I thought that often they'll have fireworks. I liked the stars in the middle to kind of add a little bling, plus the actual whole of the, well, here, I'll show you. The whole of the stamp set here is kind of large, which is great if you're turning it into like a sparkler using this piece with like a embossing powder. But I thought that for the use of fireworks, I didn't like quite how large that hole was. So I thought, you know what, let's use these stars. And normally I try to avoid even numbers, but I thought that for this, with this piece in the center, it kind of paid off in terms of making it sort of look like an odd number. And I did pop this up as well as the sentiment and kind of tucked it in there to make it fit really well. So those are the two that are like card-like. Then I thought, you know what, let's do a few different things. So here is what I did for one of my 3D projects. If I had been a little bit better with my stapling, which I was not, you can actually like staple a candy of some sort here. I stapled it, at first I stapled it too high. You might be able to see it. I tried to cover at least one of them up with a little sticker here, and then I stapled it too low, and I was like, I don't want to poke a bunch of holes through it. So maybe if you attempt this, you'll be able to get a better look. So this is actually one of those card bases right here, and you just cut it down at 3 inches wide. And originally, you can actually do this with 3 inches by 8.5. However, since I already had the coloring, and the coloring is only on this part and didn't extend, I actually cut this down by 1/2 inch. So I took off this piece right here. So this was where the 3 inches I cut. So I cut off 1/2 inch so that way I could score 1/2 inch over here in order to get this little sort of, it is called like a match box, not match, like a matchstick piece here. So I thought that this would be kind of fun, and you could hand this out. I did use the this stamp here, the little jar here, and notice that there's kind of that fraying of the ink all around it. I did use my blends. The problem is that I actually didn't let my jar dry. I was a little too eager and I colored it too early. So it does kind of blend like that. I tried to use the color lifter to kind of push that ink back, and didn't really want to work because I think again, I was too eager, and I think I was doing it before it was actually dry. But the neat thing about it in this particular case is that it does in fact sort of look like the jar is glowing, which is kind of cool. That's kind of why I left it as is, and I just reused, I used this piece. I added here, you might be able to tell, I added this piece on the opposite side, this piece on the opposite color, added a few more of those star stickers to kind of bring all those colors together. And then I did the same thing here with this. This is meant to be like a gift tag. You put the name of who you were gifting it to. And then notice here I popped these guys up with mini dimensionals. Let's see if you can see that maybe a little bit. So mini dimensionals there. I cut small pieces of that twine. Here I could attach it to a gift for a birthday or something like that. Or if I was attending some kind of like socially distant location. I did use 2 punches for this. I used my triple banner punch and my tag topper punch. So if you don't have those, you could definitely do your own version of things. Like this, for example, you can just cut up the middle and then meet to that point. If you didn't have it, the tag topper punch is really nice though to have. I did use this like the opposite side. I did trim it down a smidge because it's a 2-inch wide punch for both of these, and so I did need to trim it down to 2 inches, otherwise it would have been 2.5 inches, which would have been a little bit long. But like this piece, I might have, you know, maybe if I had thought about it ahead of time, I could have put that on top before I put the sticker, right? I could have done that in order to hide the staple in the first place. Actually, maybe if I'm really good, I could always try to undo that and see if I could glue that on top, right? So there are lots of different options you can do. So these are the things I came up with this month. Like I mentioned, it did use the add-ons, which I believe is still available to purchase if you wish to do so. The add-on was $10 and you get lots of card bases. You get 24, I believe. 24 card bases. Does it say it on here? It does not. Yeah, I believe it's 24 card bases and 24 envelopes, which match. And that was actually one of the things I had thought of doing too, was using one of these card bases as like DSP for the background of a card. But I wanted to try to focus on using mostly just the pieces of the kit, and in this case the add-on. I didn't want to have to bring in more cardstock if I didn't have to. So I might start doing that a little bit with more of these alternative videos. I know other demonstrators just use kind of the bare bones materials and then just build from there and create some really fascinating and beautiful things. You use different techniques. So for example, I could have used this right here, and just like it kind of showed here, I could have turned it into a sparkler. Let me see if I can get that closer. Like I could have turned it like into a sparkler, which is really neat. I would have had to, heat emboss of some sort, and I try to make these be really more, what's the word? But you could do it if you were to take their kit with you. I did use Memento black ink here, whereas I did use the Blackberry Bliss on the others. So there is a little difference there as well. But if you are interested in having more of my alternative videos have more components to them, or a little bit more technique focused, and I can do more different techniques to show you guys what you can do with these paper pumpkin kits. And what's really great about this is that even though this stamp set is made and it's like once a month, essentially, you get a new stamp set to you. What's great about it is that you can actually reuse this, and it's kind of, unique. You don't get this in the catalog. You can't buy this. And so, I mean, I guess there are technically resale sites, but you can make your own things with it. Like, for example, I could have used this if I wanted to use this part here, the "You're invited, it's a party, RSVP, when, where." I could do that and use this line as a data entry line. So I could write where it's happening and when, and use this line for that. This little swoosh here could be used for this firework, or it could be used for the, the flight movement of this little firefly here, which I don't remember if I mentioned it in the first half of the video, but this could be used for a little golden butt if you wanted to use some heat embossing on just its little butt, or I'm sure it has a more appropriate term for the little glowy part of a lightning bug. But there's that, and I thought that would be a really neat thing to kind of explore. But again, for this alternative video, I thought I would focus more on your what came in the kit and to use those up. I will note if I get comments in the comment section of the video or on my associated blog post. Obviously, if you would like me to branch out and like one of the alternatives uses a few more products, then feel free to share that with me, and then I'll make sure to do that for next month's kit. So that being said, if you are interested in signing up with me for your paper pumpkin kit, I would be happy to include you. I already have a few subscribers, and I would be more than willing to have you join me in that. I'll actually be sending one of these things to my paper pumpkin subscribers and some of my other alternatives. So if you are interested, feel free to follow the link below in order to sign up. There are some different approaches. You can go month to month, you can pay ahead of time, and actually today, so I'm recording this on August 3rd. August 3rd is the last day to earn your $5 coupon for next month, which essentially starts tomorrow. You can actually use a prepaid subscription of 3 months to make that particular cutoff of $50. So you need $50 purchase in order to earn $5 that you can spend next month. So I've earned a few from my orders for the current catalog as well as the upcoming holiday catalog, and so I'll have some to get some more goodies to show you guys all of what I've created, or what I can create with them. So if you have any questions, get in touch. I am also close to getting closer and closer to my 100 subscribers, and once I hit that mark, I do intend to have a giveaway. I'll probably have an upcoming video where all it shows, or what I focus on, will be my my giveaway. So just a heads up for those of you who are pretty astute, I recorded the first part of this video in July and late July, but I realized that with the new code I needed to have that up to date. So if you need to make a purchase, feel free to use my hostess code. I will provide some really nice little thank you cards and gifts if you choose to make a purchase through me. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.